you see how successful a lot of the Asian cricket, your Indias, your Sri Lankans, your
100%,
Pakistans,
yeah.
they are very, very successful. And it's just like, you don't see that often in football, and that's because there's not as many in football. But if there were, then they'd be saying the opposite. That makes sense. So now looking back, it feels as though I could have done more. I could have I think I don't think motivation is the issue. I genuinely don't. I don't think that's the problem. I just think it's guidance. Guidance is so important, and just I don't know. And talent's there, no question about it. The talent is there without a shadow of a doubt. It's just about it getting exploited, and it's just not there. So I remember my dad dropped me on my first ever football training session. It was the under 8s, so I was probably 7 years old, 7 years old, yeah.
That's mad.
And you watch football, you see your favourite players playing, you be like, yeah, I want to be like them. And it's just like, at that split second, you're thinking, yeah, this is what I want to do. And then you look at yourself, yeah, I'm brown. That's a problem.
That's mad. Yeah,
big
that's
barrier.
mad.
And as you're older, you start to realise, like, maybe it's just not meant to be, but it just shouldn't be that way. Yeah. And I think, speaking about the importance or lack of South Asians in sports is quite important to speak about. So
3,700 professional footballers in the UK. Of those professional footballers that are British Asian, we couldn't even fill a match day squad.
His former star players who haven't made the grade.
It was the black kid that got picked, or the white kid that got picked. It was never us, so you give up quite early.
But there hasn't been that surge there. I just can't put my finger on why.
Welcome to one of the first episodes of The Brown Hustle. Today I'm with Sharlam, who wants to talk about the lack of representation in football for South Asians. Sharlam, introduce yourself.
Well, hello, it's nice to be here. My name's Sharlam. I'm a physio student, so I do physiotherapy at uni, and I'd say I have like a strong interest in sports, football in particular. I do like football myself, and I just enjoy sports as a whole, and I think speaking about the importance or lack of South Asians in sports is quite important to speak about. So, I'm
100%, man.
Excited to have a good chat. So, see where it takes us.
Man, for sure. When did you first see this actually happening? When were you introduced to this?
You know what? I never fully realised it until I saw the first lot of South Asians coming into football. So the one footballer, I'm trying to remember his name. Wigan goalkeeper. His name is Ali Al Habsi. Obviously, you can tell by the name
he's Asian, and
I think he's actually African, to be honest with you.
Oh man,
more on the Muslim aspect of things. But again, you don't see that many because normally you get just mainly your Caucasians and your Black African players and stuff like that. But
100%, man.
But as of late, you're starting to see more and more come in. But it's just it begs the question, where have they been? It's just
I agree with you, man. It's hard seeing none of your kind really out there. It's not like a race issue, I feel, but it's just one of those issues. Do you think this has been concern for you? Has it motivated you to play football less?
As in, now looking back, it feels as though I could have done more. I could have I think I don't think motivation is the issue. I genuinely don't. I don't think that's the problem. I just think it's guidance. Guidance is so important, and just I don't know. And talent's there, no question about it. The talent is there without a shadow of a doubt. It's just about it getting exploited, and it's just not there.
What would you say to the people who say brown people are just not good at football? Cricket's their sport, badminton's their sport. What would you say to that?
As in, I can see why people are saying that, because it's you see how successful a lot of the Asian cricket, your Indias, your Sri Lankans, your Pakistans, they are very, very successful, and it's just you don't see that often in football, and that's because there's not as many in football. But if there were, then they'd be saying the opposite. If that makes sense. So I don't believe. I did want to be a footballer. Who didn't, man?
100%. I mean, what do you You were close, so you were actually academy player, or in Spain you were killing it. So what was the journey like there, man? And was there any point you were you know what, I really want to go pro? But
so I remember my dad dropped me on my first ever football training session. It was the under 8s, so I was probably 7 years old, 7 years old. Yeah,
that's mad.
And you watch football, you see your favourite players playing, you be like, yeah, I want to be like them. And it's just at that split second, you're thinking, yeah, this is what I want to do. and then you look at yourself, yeah, I'm brown. That's a problem.
Yeah, that's
And then
mad. Yeah,
big
that's
barrier.
mad.
And as you're older, you start to realize like maybe it's just not meant to be, but it just shouldn't be that way. Yeah.
Yeah, nah, I shouldn't, man. What, like, the thing is, people are gonna look at this and be like, "Oh, Asian man, just blaming everything, just not stepping it up." But do you feel like there's more to that? Because I mean, I think for sure, man. Like, if your parents want you to be a doctor or something, and you tell them a footballer, they're gonna be like, "Yo, man, what are you doing?" So,
100%.
what are
I'm
your
not, I'm not,
thoughts on that, man?
I'm not saying like parents are the problem per
Nah,
se.
100%.
It's not, as in they have every right to be like 100% focused on that education, and I don't disregard that in any aspect whatsoever.
Yeah.
But I feel like they need to have more of an open mind that there's other ways to be successful in life. Do you get me? And I just
100%, man.
feel like life isn't just education. Of course, it's extremely important. It's second to non-education, and like, yeah, no, I've got nothing else to say on that matter. But it's just like, I'd
Did
say,
you ever?
go on.
Yeah. No, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was there.
Oh yeah. Nah, did you ever say to your parents that you wanted to like pursue this, or is it more just like one of those guilty kind of pleasures that like, oh, what ifs? What was
Honest,
it
it's
like?
mainly what ifs, and to be fair, it's becoming more prevalent now because if you look at the age of the current England team, the average age is like what 20 something, and these players have broken through at the ages of 16, 17, and what 18. What I'm 18 right now, and I'm thinking, oh, that genuinely could have been me. But
Yeah,
it
yeah,
all,
could have.
all boils down to one thing, and that's guidance. And guidance is extremely important.
Yeah, man. So, I mean, are you like? Would you say that if Asian parents had the guidance, we would be killing it in terms of football, or yeah, like,
Yeah, so it works both ways. So if the child's best interest is at playing football, and if the parents fully committed to fulfilling those interests, then it can work. But I
yeah,
believe if there's like even like one single little doubt in their mind that okay, no, they can't do a sport, it's just not in the morals, it's stupid, then I just don't think it can work, and it's something that needs to be like addressed, in my opinion.
how do you think we should address it? Like, how do we go about doing like addressing this, changing it, seeing more Asian footballers?
It's just I think just showing the elder generation in particular, like the upcoming of some Asian players that have been coming through. There's trying to think of an example for you. Manchester United's current under 18, so I think he's younger than me, younger than both of us.
Yeah,
His name's Zidane Iqbal, 100% born and bred, parents from Pakistan, and
damn,
his dad's his agent as well. He sorts all of his stuff,
that's
and it's just like
crazy.
you can do it. It's just putting your head to it completely, but no, man, it's sad.
Yeah, I mean, it seems to have affected you a lot. Like, what aspects has it affected you?
Quite a bit. It's just like as you mentioned before, them what ifs mainly. Like all like it's just like that could have been me. And money is a big thing here because we're like, oh, could have been on 20K a week, could have been on
Yeah, the
80K a
money
week.
is crazy.
And it's just like, why don't you just be a doctor? Or it's just I don't
Yeah,
know.
I mean, I hear your point 100%. I mean, it seems like you really want to make change here, innit? So let's say I'm an Asian parent across here to you. How would
Okay.
you convince, like, you want to pursue football? How would you convince me? Because I love Asian parents. I mean, they're great. They're great. They've done a lot for us. They've sacrificed a lot.
100%. Yeah,
But,
100%.
like, it's going to be hard to convince them of this.
It honestly it all boils down to what the parents what their morals are. And for example, so let's take my family in particular.
Yeah.
My granddad, for example, he was like, excuse my voice crack. My
So,
granddad, he was education, and that's been passed down the family. And you see, you've met my dad before. He's
yeah,
exactly the same. And education is at the forefront of everything. And it's like I
100%.
believe if a parent has that type of mentality, then I don't see a route of like them going into a different alleyway of like progressing in life, which you can understand because it's something that's been passed down from generations. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I mean, 100%.
But maybe like some of the younger parents in this generation might have a more open mind to thinking like there's other ways to like make money, earn a living, and be happy at the end of the day.
Exactly, man. I mean, I completely agree with you. I mean, I think it's hard until we have more role models doing it successfully, and
100%.
until there's a higher percentage. But I mean, we got players like Hamza Chowdhury now. We got
Yeah.
obviously the brother you mentioned. So I mean, do you think that? How do you think that would affect things? I mean, if your kids asked you to, they wanted to play football, what would you say? How would you deal with it?
I would encourage them, but what's also you have to consider is how difficult it is to get into like a even in an academy as in it's very very hard and you need something to fall back on.
Hundred
And
percent.
and that's like saying, "Oh, play football, but also focus on your education." Now, juggling them two
It's
is
very difficult, man. It's hard,
100%.
man.
It is hard.
Especially as Asians, fam. You got school, then you got mosque, and time for other things. It's so limited.
Literally,
So hard.
you finish school at 3, mosque at 4, home at 6, mash by 7, in bed by 9.
Exactly, man. Exactly, and
What can you do?
yeah, I mean, it's a real shame, man. It's a
It
real
is.
shame, man. But I mean, let's talk more about you. Like, how was the experience been playing in Spain? Was there any racism? Was there? How was it? Like, how was it? And what really deterred you away from not playing? Because obviously, I think we all get old and we all stop playing eventually. But you were really young. You were really good. I mean, I'm sure there's pictures. I'll put up one right now.
Yeah,
But,
go for
yeah.
it. But I don't really know what it is. As in, you can ask my parents, ask anyone that knows me. I'm football mad. Yeah, football just runs through my blood, and I don't. Really, it sounds like I'm over exaggerating, but like it's genuinely, it makes me happy. As in,
Yeah.
like, it sounds
I hear you,
stupid.
man. I hear you.
22 people kicking a ball around makes you happy, but it's just like it just brings me something different. And like I feel like without football, I genuinely don't know where I'll be, because it just lifts your mood, innit? It happens once a week, 90 minutes of football, it just livens you up.
Exactly,
But like,
man.
with regards to like me playing in like in Gibraltar and like Spain and that, I was the only brown kid in my whole
Wow.
team, and it's just like you would be considered an outsider, and I was, but like
Yeah, it's just
you've got to adapt to the situation, and like I think I did that quite well. But if we're talking about nothing really stirred me away. It's just when I moved back to the UK, I just
It's just hard to get back into.
stopped playing, and then next thing you know, you're in year 6 and SATs have come, and this back to education.
Stats, man. Oh, the pressure on Stats was crazy, man. Oh my
Sats me.
god! I remember crying one time because I was too stressed. But how was growing up in Spain, man? Like, yeah, how was?
Man, unbelievable, absolutely. I remember, so our school used to be on. So it wasn't really Spain, so it was Gibraltar, which is UK territory.
Okay.
So we lived on one side of Gibraltar's only about 2 miles long in length.
Wow, that's crazy.
2.25 square miles long. Sorry, that's quite longer.
Yeah.
We used to get the bus at 8 in the morning. I'd come home at like 3, and then just go outside. But funnily enough, I'd come home and I wouldn't be allowed to go outside and play football until I'd do my work my dad sent me.
Wow, I mean,
Yeah.
I think that says a lot. I know.
Yeah, he used to print off worksheets for me to do, times tables, addition, you name it, and then I could go outside and play. So yeah, that says enough.
I mean, yeah, I mean, to be fair, I mean, I think right there you said a lot in it. I mean, community, don't you think the community could have helped as well, like battle it? Because obviously I've seen now Moss play football. It's not academy level, but I think it's a good boost in it. Because our
100%.
parents, I think they look at it like you're just wasting time playing football, where it could be a genuine career path.
100%. And I think we had this discussion before about like mosques having like football teams and that, and having that competitive nature. And okay, they might not be the best players, but at least they're doing something different. And I think it should be encouraged more, and the community definitely have a lot of work to do. And yeah.
What do you think the Asian community needs to work on the most? I mean, they do a lot. Let's not, like, we won't discredit them, obviously, but
100%.
we all have work to do.
As in regards to sports, or just like
I think in general, yeah, in general.
Tough one, to be honest. I think with regards to charity work, I think second to none, they do a very, very good job.
Very good job.
As charity, every Eid you see them all up and down the roads, they're always doing their best, raising money for charity. But I don't really know, to be honest. That's a tough question. I'm gonna have to come back to you on that one. But
Yeah,
I genuinely think as a whole we do a pretty good job.
I agree, man. I think honestly we do a lot. I think our mentality sometimes is flawed. But
Yeah.
I don't think we can blame our parents or anyone for that, because they grew up when it completely different, and they're like
100%.
completely different to it was before.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. I mean, looking at young Shalom now, what advice would you give him? Would you tell him to go down the football path? Would you tell him to continue the physiotherapy education route? What would you say to him?
I just follow your gut instinct, and okay, sometimes your gut's never gonna be right, granted. But what I would have maybe like changed or like asked my parents is like just maybe challenge them a little bit more. Maybe at that age it's very, very difficult to challenge your parents.
Very difficult.
You're gonna be shook in it, and I am shook at my parents, and
Yeah.
as you'd expect. But like I don't know, just maybe like challenge my parents a little bit more, just try and give them a different view on things, and like see what they think. But yeah, man, That's what I'd say.
I mean, yeah, I think that's very good advice. I mean, is there any golden nuggets you want to give to someone who's trying to become a footballer? Maybe someone's watching, they're around 13, they're quite good at football in their opinion, and yeah.
Golden nugget. I mean, I've got this quote that I've literally stood by me for absolutely as long as I can remember. And yeah, so the quote is, and you should note this one down because it's a very good one. But it's, you don't know what you've got until it's gone. But the truth is, you knew what you had, but you thought you'd never lose it.
Wow.
So essentially, what you're saying is like, just keep a hold of what you have. But
Yeah.
like, you won't realize the value of it until it's gone.
It's gone 100%. I mean,
So
wow.
just, if you have something close to you, keep it, cherish it, and if it's not good for you, then get it.
Okay, exactly. I mean, I think that's very good advice. Anywhere in life you can use that, not even just football.
100%. Yeah, no, that's even as a general life rule. That's 100%.
I mean, yeah. Is there anything you'd want to summarize with in regards to the football topic?
I don't know. I just, as much as I can, just encourage to speak out against this, because you're not gonna see many. You're not seeing many brown people like in football at the moment. As you mentioned Hamza Chowdhury, I mentioned Zidane Iqbal, and it's just not many there. And you're just like, where are they? And like, we went to the same secondary school.
Yeah.
And I didn't play much in secondary school, but you
were
saw
a cricket guy in secondary.
I was a cricket guy, not gonna lie. but like, it's not like they were bad by any. They were actually quite good footballers, and it's just like,
I mean, there was a few ballers I could name.
Yeah, 100%. And it's just about having that right pathway, and if it's not there, it's not there. And yeah, man, it's just one of them things. Either you have it or you don't. It's a very niche market, but
I'm sure in a few years there'll be a few more Hamza Chowdhury's.
Yeah,
you could even see a young Sharlam out there, and you were playing for England.
Who knows, man? Who knows?
But yeah, man, I mean, it was good speaking to you about this topic. And yeah, man, I mean, yes, I mean, it was good talking to you, Charlotte, man. Always good to talk to you, like always.
Thanks very much,
and
man.
Yeah, man, would you like to leave any thoughts?
Any thoughts? What can I say? Well, anyone watching this, all I'm going to say to you is, if you've got anything on your mind, whether it be football, something you're studying, something that you're working towards, just put your mind to it, and trust me, you can get it done. Put your mind to anything and you can get this done. Nothing is impossible.
Wow.
Have that same mentality, same mindset. I'm telling you, you'll find everything in life 100% easier. Honestly, mostly it's just a mindset thing. And if you nail that mindset, I'm telling you, you will find everything easy. But obviously, nothing in life is easy. You got to work for it. So
100%,
work hard, man. Just work hard. That's what I got to say.
Work hard and mentality is king, I think. I mean,
100%.
Honestly, Shalom, you killed it here. Dropped a few golden nuggets. Thanks for joining us, man. I mean, next week we'll talk about something else. But thank you, man.